Good day, my people. We're back again to you. This is Everything Ika Language class. Here we're back again to tell you more about the language. Like I earlier on told you previously that my names are Comrade Joseph Aremiche Agboifo, W2 retired. Today we're going to respond to some of the questions a lot of people asked in the previous teaching. After that, we will now go into the new program. Like some of the questions some persons asked from what they read or saw from our last program. Somebody was asking, will it be possible to add parables and idioms in your next teachings? Of course, those things are right. It's possible, very, very possible, because as we go into the program, you're going to hear a lot of stories, a lot of things about your locality, from where you came from, stories about the kingdom, and a lot of things. They are all there. It is very, very possible. Someone asked also, how is it that you speak English effortlessly? And I would say that is funny. It's like that because I see, in my own case, I see it as a gift from God. I speak a lot of languages. I'm a linguist, so English language is part of it. So we're there, and we'll be able to tell you a lot more as we go into the system. Then another question too is, at your young age, was it true that people's hands go round to touch their ears before they are admitted in schools? Of course, yes. I remember in 1954, when I was in primary 1, before you are admitted, you must put your hand across. Your hand must touch your ear. If your hand does not touch your ear, nowhere. But I think it was as a matter of making sure that the people get to a particular age of learning and understanding before they go into primary school. It was a colonial system at that time, unlike what it is now. Because if you remember, then too, a lot of our parents were illiterate. So teaching at home or whatever was not constant then. So they make sure you get to a particular age before you go into the primary school. That's exactly why it was so. So it is true that that was what was happening then. Then there is another question. Is polygamy being encouraged in modern days in Ika Land? Of course not. No, it's no longer being encouraged. But that is not to say that it's no longer in existence. There are people that are interested, who love women so much, not minding what they're going to encounter in the future as a result of carrying all these luggages around. But you remember too that those days, the actual reason for polygamy, because we've gone into the system to really find out why polygamy existed in the third world more, was that they needed manpower. There was nothing like tractor, there was nothing, and nobody goes to other people's farm to work. You don't have laborers to hire. So the more children you have, the more farm land you acquire, the more you live, and so on and so forth. And sometimes too, when they are in the drinking parlor, some will say, my man, how many pots of soup do they cook in your house on daily basis? Some say they cook 4. Then you know he has 4 wives. Some say 5. You say, 5, it was the order of the day, and that was how they were living. But as time goes on, they too discovered too that it was not the best. So like it is just now in our locality, it's not being encouraged. And Christianity too has come in to help a lot, to make a lot of people believe that polygamy is not the best. So thank you about that. We like to ask further questions. Yeah, one said, I love the song you sang in the last edition. Will you sing more for us? Of course, yes. There are lots of songs you will hear as we go on, as we progress. But the truth of the matter is, this time around, we want to follow it up systematically so that people will be able to follow properly. So that the young ones that are learning, as they are learning, they'll be able to write it, they'll be able to pronounce the words, they'll be able to recognize the words, because there are some bracket alphabets in our alphabets. So a lot of those songs will come as time goes on. He said, okay, somebody said, please put it in writing, mostly the alphabets, which we are going to start with today. So today, we're going to talk about the alphabets, show the alphabets, pronounce them, so that we learn them. As you see it, you know it, you recognize it, you know how they are. So that's what we have for you today, the alphabets of Ika language. Like you have the ABC in English language, A to Z. That is how also we have our alphabet from A to Z. Now remember, I told you previously that our language, Ika language, is a nasal language. A nasal language is a language you pronounce into the nose. And at the same time, there are bracket alphabets. So these bracket alphabets are included. We'll be able to know when to use them, how to use them, and how to write them. Thank you very much. So we want to go into those alphabets just now. So here are the alphabets. These alphabets, you need to recognize them. If you look at them thoroughly before we go into the pronunciations, you see there are commas. In some of them, these ones where you have comma here, you have another comma here, another one comma here, one comma here, one comma here, one here, one here, one here, one here, and so on. There are some of these alphabets too that has dot underneath, like this particular alphabet here that has dot underneath. This dot has a different pronunciation with this particular one. This other upper one, this here has, this dot has a different pronunciation from this particular one. Just like that. Look at these two alphabets too. This one has dot, this does not have. This one that has dot has a different pronunciation from this particular one. So let's start by it. This is A, B, Che, bracket alphabets. Che, D, E, C, D, B, D, Q, H, I, A, J, K, B, Q, L, M, N, N, W, Ny, O, O, P, R, C, Sh, T, U, O, V, W, Y, Z, Z. Now, those alphabets that has dot underneath, If you look at this in English language, this is seen as E. But here is A. Then with this dot underneath, it becomes E. Follow? Then this one here, E. For example, you want to spell Ika. This I. If the dot is not underneath, it means it is not A. But if you look at it, if you just spell it ordinarily, you say I-K-A. Yeah, Ike, no. Ika, A. That's it there. Then this other one. U, O, U. It stands as U. Both of them are U. But because of this dot, this one becomes O. U, O. Then look at Ye, Z, which was supposed to end in Z. But it cannot end there. We have Z. Then if you say Z, the H must follow the Z to make it Z. Not Z, Z. Come again. Watch it properly. To pronounce A, B, C, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, B, D, W, H, E, A, J, K, B, Q, L, M, N, W, N, O, P, R, C, Sh, T, U, O, V, W, Y, Z, J. This is how they stand. In another development, like bracket words, the common words we talk about. You see, Baba, see, A-B, A-B, Ba-ba, that is father. Mama, mother. This mama that we pronounce as mother, we also have another word, ne. Ne. Ne has to do with. See to it? Ne. If you leave this E, this particular E, if you leave it without the dot, it becomes ne. Ne. Then with this dot, it becomes ne. It is also mother. Ne, mother. Mama, mother. Baba, father. Sometimes some people say Abba. No. You say different thing. Baba. That's what we know. So, from time to time, as we react to these alphabets like they are written, and you have heard the pronunciations, you need to learn them. As you're learning, you're watching, as it is being touched, watch it in your video. So that is exactly how you have to know them. So that is that about the alphabets. And as we open up with these alphabets, go about them. We will want to know about, hear from your reactions about these alphabets. And then from here, we will continue to advance and then begin to write them gradually. The advantage you have is that the alphabets are there and the pronunciations are there also to follow. So that if you're missing anyone, you replay again as it's being touched. You look at it, say this is that, that is that, that is that, that is that. That is how exactly those things are. Sometimes you might wonder, because there are some of the words here, like this bracket alphabets, they are not so in English language. You follow? Like this che, or be, ge, we, or be, nye, she. They are not there. We don't have any bracket alphabet in English language, or dot underneath, or dot on top. They are so because of our language. Like this bracket, let's take for instance this che. Sometimes there are people they call chukuma. Chukuma. Follow? That language, chukuma. Look at it, yes. So, the bracket alphabet comes there. Chukuma. In English language, it might not be so, but this is exactly how it is being spelled in our language. Like this other one that has dot underneath. There are some languages we use in our language. Eleme, eleme. This is eleme. So without this dot underneath, you cannot get that language correct. You follow? This other one. Okay, be, ba, baheni. That is, separate these things. Be, balete. See to it? Be. So, like this particular one, I say be. This bracket alphabet must come there. And then the E that follows, if you don't put this dot, it becomes B. You follow? It becomes B. But with this alphabet underneath, it becomes B. B alete. You see the two E, they remain like that. Alete. See, there's no dot underneath any of them because of the pronunciation. Alete means okra. This kwe, kwebo. Sing a song. Answer chorus. Kwe, kwebo. You don't put this dot, it becomes able. Que able. Que able. That's where you get this bracket alphabets here. Que able. Like this bracket word here too. Mwe. Mwene. When my brother, my sister, when this other one, nye, nyaye, nyaye and yeben, paste this thing here. nye, nyaye. Before you can say nyaye here, nyaye, this ny must be there. A in between. Nyaye, n, nyaye. Place it there. This, like this other one, she. In Ika language, some people say she, she. So this she should be there to balance the entire Ika ethnic group together. That is why this alphabet is there. During the training, and when we were talking about this alphabet, there was a lot of arguments about this particular she. In the Kano East, they say she, but here in Abba, we pronounce and say say. So it's always there. Or sometimes say shaya. Tell him, tell her. Okay. This other one. Ze, zebu, zebu, zizia, zebu. Put your look down. So those are lots and lots of things that has to do. So as we go along and bring you into the next class, after these alphabets, you begin to know them more, because this is a preliminary part of it. And this one too is good for both the adult and the children. Everybody has to know about this alphabet so that you on your own can learn, know it well, write your own language in your own language by yourself, and then be able to teach it to your children too. Because if you do not know it, you cannot teach it. So that's exactly how it is. So in our next class, we're going to bring you something a little bit higher than what we have done today. I know that with what we have learned today, it might be stressful to you because it's new to you. But all the same, let me relax your heart with a short story and a song. Yeah. See, so this story, I will tell you the story in Ika language, and then the song too in Ika language. Orumbuhu oge ihe giri afọ yake eno nomane nsogbu ichiche re uzole yoka ihu no korin ono shiwe nwa alebo reba one was a lot. Oh no, if I bought, if I talk, if I know, who may we say, oh no, say, ew, never fear an anachania woman. Nay, all lamade, a little zube, mwasa, kisses, I would go, loud boot, or boy, leano, family, bonus and bamba, nay, or lama. Yare no corner, or obo, or no bar, play, or no waha. Or the one waha, or no seno de. Lele de ugbe konose ogine ru ugbe efifia iru kichan gbogbo won ile gbegbegbe za won ti bi hodo ne lenu gbomu e ba na elele hume oya mare be okere no po ona mare no na ewa pa okere aha okere no po ha okere hu ile ona we o we shanye lu o se Kakri no ze Elena. Okri no se. Oya mo bon. Onwa ngoro jenga. Ukule. Ori. Say, Yako Krina, I judge the okay, say, I am one. Oh, I want to Jenga. Is it one Jenga? Ay, you want folk, I want, you're no lama. Rulo no guandio one. Ni era mo krige po imubu no saka kugwa. Whether do wezi ego no gi kpore nde job no ejugbe dan fo na arisha. Don't know. Kere mado eno. Ono jame. We no no mafifia wa popo fo ma we ho anu asishin. E we no se o se ni ogogo ijokokwo. Ono se mele ono beta. Okre ni ida biazi ko de kukari enwe imugbo. You know, we catapult on a butcher back on a blue year, on a say here, cree, well, or cree. On a gem, or who am I ever share? It was a lazy quacker. But who am I with this poor? Okay, no, okay, sir. And I don't know, correct. And second, I don't know, correct. Ya hona rumaza ya okay abia ko libini da ajuma ke na ruane okereka ya no so homa ya no bue ka check ba ona bu akatapot ona bu akpuri che ona da ona bia pa akpuri yi o mane okri le agwa ko na dokse ogan akpuri gilala okri hulu akpuri ya gafu vem okri na sa yete baka mehu yenegeke. Oh, yete baka mahugene okay, nde job be bonata. Lokri to bone. Ile kore okre, no okre gwama yuku be ni ya no ko ihe ibe da ma, ya no opu ya. Okay, ono ko ma okre hoku ma e ba me lewe ko da ya ma. Ba, ono se ni ono ka se okre we po ko ya. Ogo ki wori ja kpuri hu me hebo. Okre le agoda. Ya okre no feri ogo krigi feri anaza oya zozokeo yo credo filama e ba ko bi ogo gi rulo yo no gwampa ono gwa nyunye ihe hu okrigi enya hu ebe bi hu okrigi egbu enugbo oge gwago unye ya no ya na sa ya no yo kere gwa no yen so keo ite gba shi wa alebu ino gbagbu tobo kelo wa ona sa megwa ti yoku no ri ofia ya gwa no yen so keo o yen so ya keo yo no feli yoto ni on maye ni mgbago owo aba de clean ya ni anarosi ona sia la po ihe to gbo ni po ihe atonento imaye na ho okere hu gwa ibu me kisa ka mo kere yo wa no sia ne oyekede abuye na bu hu ya lo oyi jeto we ibu wa we na aro kete yo kan wa no buye ni owo anwe bu ona sia Wow, yae. Wow, no Kenya so ya zeka so hobi. Amuru we yinaga aga mune won pari golama. Wow, jeni wa. Wow, no Kenya so ya zeka so hobi. Amuru we yinaga aga mune won pari golama. Amuru we yinaga aga mune won pari golama. Ona saya la topo luku to bone e mai no ma nyen ona be yeda aro ai ho okre ho gwa yebu me o woni hisa ka me no watu ono igbo e ba kan ga jen ba kan ga wa o mbele. Yes, sometimes for those of you who may not understand our local language, it's just a short story about a particular bird that is fond of making fun on people. Because in those days, humans hear and understand animals' language. And animals used to understand human language. So when you are talking, do not think in your mind that the fowl in your heart is not hearing what you're saying. It might not be able to reply, but it's hearing you. That was how it was then. So this young man, at the time, his children living abroad called him over. They said, please come and stay with us for some time. That this is a long time we've not seen you, we'll be missing you. So he traveled abroad. He was there for 6 months. After 6 months, he came back home and went back to his farmland to look at his farmland. Before he got there, it has grown wheat all over the place. Oh! Then this bird came around and sit and saw the man. And the bird started saying, who owns this farm? Who owns this farm? Is he dead or he went to jail? Is he dead or went to jail? The man was offended. He looked at the bird and said, aye. With annoyance, he left, went back home. When he got home, he told his friends, he said, look, that a particular bird molested him in his farmland, that they should give him some money. Then they carried laborers to his farm, 5 of them. He said, look, I want the entire farm finished in 1 day. He said, okay, no problem. They went. As they were clearing the place, and when the man was going to the farm, he remembered what he encountered with that bird in the jungle. He took catapult and some stones and put it in his pocket. As they started walking, started clearing the place, they were walking and as if they have never seen that kind of grass before. The bird came again and said, are you doing it now because you think you are doing it perfectly or you are doing it on time or what? Here, the man became tired again. The same bird. He said, what do I do with this bird? I didn't do this work. I left it and went to somewhere. I came back, the bird molested me. Now that I brought workers, it's still molesting me. Then he brought out his catapult, put a stone in it. And little did he know that the bird was eyeing him. As he shot his catapult, as the stone was coming, the bird burnt down and the stone passed through. And the bird laughed. He said, you aimed very well, but myself I saw you and I dodged your stood very well. So at the time, the people, the workers, the brother told him, say, leave this bird alone and concentrate in what you are doing. He left the bird. But the bird didn't go away. The bird was still there, dancing and chatting and looking at him. So at the time, the second time, he took stone, put it in his catapult. As he wanted to shoot the bird saw him. The bird said, well, I'm lucky in the first time. This second time, I may not know the plan of the man. So the bird flew away. As the bird was flying away, the bird started saying, you are a lazy man, you are a lazy man, you are a lazy man, you are a lazy man. So when this young man got home after he settled his laborers and got home, his wife gave him food, he was eating, a friend of his came, they were drinking palm wine as usual. And started narrating the story, the episode of the farmland and so on, and told his friend everything that happened. As he was saying, so the wife was laughing so well. Laughing at him and saying that, who are you? He said, look at now, I told you. The bird in the bush now told you everything, that you are a lazy man, and actually you are a lazy man. The man became furious, stood up in anger to attack his wife. His friend held him. Then the wife said, after all, the bird of the who told you everything, what were we able to do to the bird in the bush? Is it me that is at home with you now, that you want to fight and do everything? So his friend sang a song for him. And the meaning of the song is that don't bother about what women does or what they say at any time. That it is not their fault, it's their nature. They will always tell you outrightly. And to be able to live with a woman in the house, you must be patient with her because they are the lower sex. That is how God created them, and that is how they behave. That's just all about the short story. Thank you so much. Remember that this is Everything Ika Television House. We'll meet again. We'll continue to meet. I will bring you many, many more stories about Ika Land, about kingship in Ika Land, about chieftaincy title, about a lot of things, about how to do it and how to bring it down. So in our next class, we shall proceed to tell you more of what we have in stock for you. Please don't forget to share and to subscribe, because it is necessary. If you watch it and you keep it to yourself alone, it's not the best. Share to others. That is how others can benefit from what you are benefiting from. That is how others can enjoy from what you are enjoying. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Everything Ika way.